And welcome back to Top Dogs. My name is Fiction Boy.
I'm Stream Arcadad.
As you also guys know, Whiplash is not here this week. He's taking some time off, but we also have a special guest with us. So this is Vince Wuff. So Vince, can you please explain what you do?
Hi guys, I'm Vince. I am the executive producer of Walking Dog Records. You may have heard us on Spotify and actually around the world. But then I guess I'm a Twitch streamer and a teacher by trade.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Well, speaking of teacher, what kind of teacher are you?
Oh, I'm a high school English teacher, so I deal with all the hormonal teenagers.
Oh, that must be something. That must be something.
That's interesting because my boyfriend is also trying to be a high school teacher. Not in history, but in art. Which I find it was, from what I understood, I thought that was probably one of the hardest ones to get.
Oh yeah, teaching in general is kind of an all-time high for demand, but then there's a lot of after the pandemic, a lot of teachers are kind of leaving and trying to find other lines of work too. So you got in and you got out. So
okay. So in terms of like music, like when you were making music, what inspired you to get involved in that kind of line of work?
That's a really big question because there's a lot of things that kind of contributed to me doing Walking Dog music. So I was working during the pandemic, teaching online, which was really, really hard for a lot of teachers across the country, I guess around the world. And I started picking up streaming at the same time, which I didn't think I would ever do. And I ran into a lot of issues that a lot of other of my friends did during streaming, and getting DMCA strikes against their content and getting stuff taken down or suspended or banned. And so after doing my research and networking with some artists, some musicians, and some illustrators, we kind of got together and started making Walking Dog.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool though. I would imagine like the whole networking thing took some time and develop over. Like, did you guys like do it in a couple of years, or did you?
Actually, so back in probably the May, so I was teaching during spring break or right before spring break, and I remember telling my English class at the time, I said, okay, well guys, apparently there's this pandemic going around. I'll see you in 2 weeks. And because we had spring break, and I never saw them again actually until 2 years later. And during that time I started to network in streaming, and I met some artists by going to some art channels who are some really good friends of mine now, some music producers just from other conventions that I've worked with, and just illustrators, because there's no short of talent within our fandom.
Okay. Oh, by the way, to the audience, we also have Kit here. I apologize. I thought you would have come up and say. No, the thing is, though, Kit, here's the thing. When we say our names, you jump in.
You sped past me.
I'm still trying to get used to my own latency.
Right off the bat.
You all may remember me. I'm our community director. I'm Kit Clausen. I am filling in for Whiplash this week. That was my introduction.
I'm sorry. I'm
Splice that in, right? Somewhere?
Maybe, but I feel bad now. But I guess, you know what, Kit? Do you want to ask any questions to see if I can just make up for my mistake? Have the spotlight on you for just a moment.
Poop. So you said you are a teacher. So my mom and stepdad are both teachers. They teach middle grades.
Bless them.
So I got a first-hand seat to what the pandemic did to the education system. So what was teaching from home like for you? Because my mother is in her mid-50s, and learning Zoom for her was it was a struggle. So what was all that like for you?
Well, a lot of people either you had to adjust and get the kids what they needed to know in education, or you flopped, and everybody knew it. Like, the kids knew about technology and knew how to get on their hands-on, and luckily, I guess I had already been streaming for a little bit, and then I kind of rolled into it, and some of my equipment looked weirdly more high-tech, weirdly new to the kids, so they're like, oh, what is this going on with this teacher we have? And so sometimes I would have lights in the background. I definitely had a better quality microphone. I wasn't using a school laptop or anything to do my education with. Yeah, so and I literally had a DSLR camera.
That's awesome. Streamer set up for your class.
I did, and they did try to find me. They're like, hey, do you stream on Twitch, mister? And I said, no, I don't know what that is.
No, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm old. What is that?
I'm not running.
Yeah, I'm too old.
I'm not running a 3090 GTX. No. All them graphics.
Yeah.
So, quick question. So as we're recording this, today is Father's Day. How's your DMs, Vince?
Oh my God, my DMs have blown up on my stream today. We called it, of course, Happy Daddy's Day, because anybody could be a daddy. So we called it Daddy's Day. It was good. It was good. Yeah. It was really fun.
Mm-hmm. Am I like? Okay, I feel like I'm the only guy.
By the way,
no, it doesn't. It doesn't at all.
No, it doesn't. No. I feel like I'm the only guy here that doesn't like to be called that anymore. So,
well, I take it as a compliment. If somebody's calling you dad, he's taking you as a role figure, as a role model. So I'm actually honored by this. And you know, I like to help out people, so why not?
Here's the reason why I don't like it. It's because have you ever seen anybody on like any user account with like any furry or even other people that has their username called Daddy or something, and they're the most cringiest guys I've ever met.
Like me, Arca Dad.
Like they act like there's. But here's the thing. You have a point. Here's the point. You don't make it sexual, but the ones that like have their username Daddy something are the ones that make it sexual. But they're not very good at being that figure because it sounds so forced and not natural. That's why I don't like it, because that's what people put me in, and I'm like, no.
It's like when you see those brands that are called like great flavor or great value, and then you taste it, and it doesn't have a great flavor at all. It's like, have you seen products like that? They advertise something they're not. It's really funny.
Yeah, that's what I don't like with some of the usernames with the whole dad thing. That's their whole thing on their Twitter or whatnot. They're not very good at it.
No, not at all.
It's something like, they're trying too hard to be something. That's what I noticed. And then I was like, that's really not you, dude. Come on. Where's the other variety of you?
I don't think we should evaluate ourselves. We should let other people describe who we are. I chose Arcadad because that's what people were calling me. And when I got locked out of my TikTok account for technical issues, I had to come up with a new name.
Technical.
And I was like, you know what? This kind of fits. That's what people are saying in the comments. I'll just go with that. But we should never judge. We should let other tell us and describe us who we are. It's not good to say, oh,
okay.
This. Anyways, I could drift on hours for this. Let's keep going.
That's all right. All right, Vince, I wanted to ask you a question about the music. When you are doing music, did you start off with maybe making singles first, or did you went straight to album?
I did a lot of research before I got involved, and I realized that if I wanted to make an impact on our community, I needed to go a little bit big with the resources that I had. So I decided to release 3 albums all at the same time to kind of put a bam, we're here. And so we released 30 songs, one from Japan, inspiration, the other one with a New York/Harlem feel to it, and then another one that kind of quickly escapes me. But we decided to go really hard because there was a need for it. And so we wanted to make a bank of music for people just to use flat out and just don't have to worry about it. Press play and go.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, kid? You want any questions? I'm just, rotating it around as we go.
Don't put me on the spot. I'm not ready.
Yes, you are. You've done this so many times. You should be used to it by now.
I've done this once. All right. So where do you get your ideas for the different albums and songs that you write?
So I have a team of people that I work with, and usually I love letting artists do their work. Every artist has their own process, their own muse, their own set of inspiration. So I usually
Just like clip through.
I love this.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
The purpose when I said do not mind me. No, when I said don't mind me, it's because Sakura's camera was so focused on you. I went around it because I wanted to turn off the mirror so I can see the 30-minute thing.
Oh.
All right, go on.
Do some magic trick floating across the screen. Don't mind me. Just going back and forth.
I mean, he just floated his sweet cakes right across my face. I was like, whoa.
You can look, but you can't touch.
You never want me to.
No.
Damn it.
But go on ahead. Well, there's another idea. No. So, okay, next theme. So we, I don't. It's kind of hard because I kind of pull on a lot of different inspirations. So, Japanese album came really heavy because I love Japanese culture, right? So I'm hugely influenced by it growing up.
Yes.
I loved the
Sakura's so happy.
Videographer was born in Japan.
Oh, that's awesome. I really, really want to visit one of these days. I've never had the chance to, but I have family around the area over in East Asia. So, Harlem Renaissance was really impactful for me during college. I just loved the idea of Black culture and just everything that they've done to kind of like inspire American music and so on and so forth. So, a lot of my ideas come from my life, really, and kind of the things that kind of inspired me growing up.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wanted to ask you going to ask you a question about your Twitch streaming, which is what inspired you to be a Twitch streamer, since you brought that up.
I have a huge confession to make about streaming, actually. I remember sitting on well, this was before the pandemic, right? So I had no interest in streaming at all. And I remember looking at Twitch just because one of my friends, and I have a lot of gamer friends, and some of my non-furry gamer friends told me, "Hey Vince, watch this streamer play Overwatch." And I was like, why? That sounds so dumb. Like, why do I want to watch somebody play a game when I could play a game? And so I thought streaming was really one of the least interesting things that I could ever think to be a part of. And then, lo and behold, 4 or 5 of my friends, before when Overwatch 1 was a thing, they said, "Hey, do you want to just play a team game with us?" And I said, "Sure." And they were like, "We're going to stream it." I was like, "Okay, I guess." And then all of a sudden, when they said go live, I just popped up and I felt like my character or just something kind of took over me. And all of a sudden, I felt like I wanted to entertain. So I will eat crow about streaming.
Okay. Oh, by the way, on a side note, your leg is clipping into the chair. You might want to move up just a little bit.
Okay.
Let's scoot your butt over. Just don't get rug burn.
I will not. I will try not to get rug burn. I'm not going to drag my butt across the floor either.
Wow. How rude.
I'm holding back to say something right now, so don't make me.
I'm asking, do you want to ask a question?
I'm curious. So I thought, do you actually write some of the song, or you represent a house that hires people to make the music?
So as the executive producer, I wear many hats. So I do The main financial aspects of it, I take care of the marketing and kind of the social media aspect of it as well. I know some intonation and music, like I did a lot of sight reading growing up. I could play the guitar, piano, so on and so forth. But when it comes to actually making the kind of music I'm looking for within the company, I give that to better talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kind of like me on that too. You trust the artist, like you give them a lot of freedom. Like, look, this is kind of the vibe I'm going with. Just have fun, and we'll see how it goes.
Stream.
Yes.
I don't mean to worry you, but Kofi forgot to put our thing in after the 30 minutes.
What? It's been 30 minminutes already?
No. He forgot to.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I'll.
I'm just warning. I'm just letting you know. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm just warning you up.
No,
So
I
when
got
it's
this,
time out, yeah. Okay. So sorry about that. It was a little technical difficulty.
Oh. It's okay. I have a question.
It's a thing. What's your question?
For stream, you have your own business too, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I do.
Are you fully hands-on with that? Because I've seen some of your stuff on your site or on social media, and so I'm
he's very
wondering
hands-on.
how involved do you get in that? Yeah.
I am a one-person army. I do everything. So I do the social management. Well, not quite. So I do a lot of partnerships. So my business, I build the website. I make the products. I do the design of the products. I do the finishing, the producing, the shipping, packaging. I do everything, but I have a few people that I hire. I have an artist that make my artwork for every time I have a new character. Recently, I just released the Amicus
Yes.
toy thing. So I commissioned Habs to make the artwork. The only thing I do not do is the artwork for the product and some of the graphics design. So I have somebody that is doing graphics design. I have my artists. I have two right now that do my products. I also have somebody that volunteered to do pro bono, taking care of the emails for my business. Right now, legally, I don't have the status to be able to pay somebody, so I will end up giving bonuses and maybe some free stuff to those people and to say thank you. I only have one person that he's doing it for free, but I appreciate the offer and I plan to give back.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of work. The Amicus generated 300 orders, and they're coming in faster than I can fulfill them. So I'm kind of freaking out. So
Well, congratulations on that. It's an accomplishment.
thank
Very
you.
good.
It's still a big deal.
Congrats.
Oh, by the way, I told my mom about your business. She actually has a suggestion that might help you.
I'm open-minded to anything, but let me tell you something. That business, that launch is really going to help me recover from our failed attempt at having a child of our own and losing, failed embryo transfers and having to restart the whole process. Financially, it's going to help me a lot to reset on our funds because we had to put ourselves into massive debt and be able to do that project, and it failed. So it's hard.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, now that, what inspired you to be a teacher? And that we're going to get back on that.
Woo! That's a lot, actually. I guess maybe the long and short of it is that teaching is my second profession, actually. I started off, I actually dropped out of college my second week. And I decided it wasn't for me. So back in the day where you could work a restaurant job and have a roommate and be completely comfortable, it was, oh, I'm so sorry. I just got a ping. I'll have to, I'm so sorry. I forgot to put myself on, ask me. There we go. All right.
Hang on a second.
Watch out, you have to mute your microphone.
I should probably have told you about that.
Yeah, sorry. I usually have it on Do Not Disturb, but in order for me to actually accept your invite, I had to undo it. So
you could put it on orange. That would have been fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Hey, Pac-Man. Do you mind if I catch
Turns out I'm
up with you later?
I'm friends with him, actually, funny enough.
Oh, really? Okay, cool, awesome.
Me too.
Oh, hell yeah.
What?
I am as well. I know you guys are recording.
Alright, yeah,
good.
you have to keep yourself muted for now, though, for the recording, but it's fine. You didn't know.
Oh, that's great.
here we
Awesome.
go.
I trust you, Jacob.
But as you were
Again?
saying,
Okay.
yeah.
So should I just start over, or just gonna pick?
No.
up as it
You
goes?
can start. You can pick up where you started. If
Okay.
You want.
Yeah. So I dropped out of college after 2 weeks. Got my money back because it was like a community college thing, and I started working for a pizza joint based out of Boston named Uno's Pizzeria. It's a deep dish joint, and I climbed up the ranks and just started opening up restaurants at the age of 19 with a team. So at that time, I was kind of traveling the country. I moved to another company 3 years later and started opening up restaurants with them by becoming a bartender. And then the economy crashed. The great big housing market popped. And
The one in 2008.
Tell me about it.
Oh yeah, it destroyed the restaurant industry. And I had moved to Wisconsin to be the regional director of finance, about 5 or 6 stores. And so since the housing market bubble popped, it kind of did me in. And I'm like, well, I'm not living in Wisconsin anymore. Nothing against people who live in Wisconsin, but Chicago is 2 hours away. So I moved back, did a year being a receptionist for a doctor, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to school and get my degree. And so I was like, well, I like helping people. I like teaching, so let's be a teacher.
Yeah,
So that's
funny enough, my boyfriend is a teacher assistant right now, so he's getting experience while going to college for it as well. I'm like, bless your soul.
I'm sure you've heard the stories.
No. He just
Same.
From what he told me is that I don't know if you can speak from experience, but when he became a teacher assistant, the other teachers above him kind of don't treat him nicely because not a real teacher. That's a real thing.
Well, I would say in my
Bullying.
Yeah, in my experience, I'm very fortunate that my student and my school population, at least the teachers and educators and staff members, really support each other. We're a low socioeconomic school district, but there's a lot of like community. And so that's just kind of how it is. So my TAs that I work with, I love them. They're great because they also help. Yeah, they want to help. And so I kind of like, we work together as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, I just know for a fact, like, when it just sucks because they're kind of like full of themselves, as how he explained it to me, especially the ones that are not really helping him. Is there something you want to say, Kit?
Teachers don't have enough time away from the students to do what they need to do for the students. So having an assistant is a big deal for teachers. Not every teacher gets a teacher's assistant.
Yeah, my boyfriend works very hard in that field. But here's the thing, he's not working with regular students, he's working with special ed kids. Yeah. So that was the only option he had. But, you know, the kids really like him, at least. That's what I noticed. But the other teachers give him crap for some reason. I don't know. He probably would have to tell you more in details better than I would, because he's been there. But yeah, he's definitely working on there. And I know for a fact, once I graduate, move to Colorado and stuff like that, because that's where I want to live. He's going to be moving in with me, but he's like, well, wherever I go, once I get my license, I have to stay there until I retire. So I didn't know that was a thing. So I was like, okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Well, it's different for every state. Every state has its own kind of laws or tier system for retirement. Teachers sometimes have a blanket depending on the district, but it's very unfortunate to hear that's happening to your boyfriend. I know that, like, I love TAs. I love my kids, so it's just kind of it's like I said, it's sad. It's it's not gonna be the same everywhere.
No, it's not. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes, and I'll probably introduce you to him sometime. He probably gonna get some, help. So,
I do have a question for all of you. What would you say is your favorite grade growing up? And subject. Like, what's your favorite grade? What's your favorite subject? Because I feel like everybody has their favorite teacher or subject, but try to pick something good. Not that you hated, something you really liked.
I had this one class my senior year, and that was it was something. It definitely was science, but it was not like any other science I've ever been a part, because I don't remember the name, but it involved us going outside. And we had to get these outfits to wear, like, because we were going out in the woods and we were going in the muck and finding animals and exploring out of the woods. And yes, we dealt with dangerous animals. Our teacher, of course, did. But it was kind of cool just getting out and exploring the woods and going on these trails and seeing these different animals. What scared most of my classmates was, we saw a water spout snake in the water. Yeah, I think that's the right. Those things are mean. So I think I don't know if they're venomous. Are they, Kit? Because I don't remember. They are? Okay.
A lot of the water snakes we have here in the South are venomous.
Yes, it was a very aggressive snake. I know that. And then we because I was in school in South Carolina, we even ran into a deer that actually was bold enough to actually come up to us. Which is very odd for a deer to do when, like, there's like 20 kids and a teacher. So, yeah. And the other day I saw a little trash panda was bold enough to come up to us and steal the dog food.
Yeah, you told me that. You showed it to me.
Yeah, he could send you that video, or unless you have Telegram, I can show you this little trash panda that was stealing dog food.
Adorable. Those cute little bastards.
Yes.
My favorite class was probably in secondary 2, which is grade 8 for you guys in the States, because in Canada our school system is, so you got primary school and then you got secondary school. So primary is kindergarten all the way to grade 6, and then high school or secondary school is from grade 7 to grade 11, which is secondary 1 through 5. So me at secondary 2, I had physics class, and I'm more of a hands-on type of person, and I'm a tinkerer. So physics class was something I was really into, calculating ballistics and stuff like that. And one project we had to do was a catapult, and that was my all-time favorite. I made a scissor jack trebuchet catapult that was kind of powerful for its size. It was pretty nimble. It was like maybe this big, but it could shoot a tennis ball 150 feet. With just a few bricks on the side. It was pretty good.
You're definitely proud of that.
Yeah, math grade 5. I did there's the basic program, there's the advanced, and then enriched. I did all the most advanced stuff to open up as many doors in case I want to go to university. I never did, but still I'm proud I've done them. And the grade 5 highest levels was probably one of the easiest math class I have. It was the grade secondary 4 that was really hard, but the 5th one was coming back to the 4th and adding a bit to it. But physics and math were probably my favorite classes.
Hey, you know what? I gotta point something out real quick. You gotta love the furry haters that says, "What do furries do? They're not that smart."
Oh God! Some are dumb as hell, but some are very smart and clever. That's the thing. Like, there's just such a wide variety.
Well, yeah, but it's just the thing is that people going based on stereotypes.
Yeah.
Here's a good example.
A lot of dumb furries lately.
And here's a good example. This takes an organization to run. So we're doing pretty good, I think. That's pretty successful in my opinion.
Agreed.
I think my favorite, I don't know if I would call it a favorite. I was always good at math until I got to the college level mathematics, and then it got really difficult really fast. But I think I enjoyed literature the most when I was allowed to choose my own books.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Because I could absolutely open a book and read the entire book front to back in one sitting.
Oh,
Really?
That's great.
Damn, impressive.
Were you just a fast reader, or were you just able to gather material about the book you were reading that quickly?
Bit of both. Like especially if it were like fiction novels. I could find a series that I really enjoyed, and literally in the course of one school day, I could start the book, and by the end of the day, I would have to take it back because I'd finished it already.
You're like basically like Johnny Five the robot. Johnny Five, you go like.
Oh yeah.
Just read the whole book in a few minutes. I don't know if a lot of people are gonna catch that reference because that's a pretty old movie,
That's such an
even
old
for my age.
Dads. Just the
I
dads.
loved it. Just
Yeah, I know.
they're gonna know. Certified
Well,
dad.
Sakura
You know
knows
who
it
Johnny
too.
Five is. Yeah, Sakura was excited. Okay, watch out.
thing
They're
is-
wiggling all over the place now.
The thing is, I know that too, and I'm probably the youngest.
Yeah.
but yet,
But even for me, it's old. Like, yeah,
yeah.
it was a good movie. I liked them.
Actor House wants to say something. I could see it. He probably knows
The
it
three
too.
dots. He doesn't
no,
know.
never mind.
He doesn't know Johnny Five. I'm surprised you're studying in the movie industry. You don't know about it? Look it up. Johnny Five the robot.
Okay, so
He replaces laser for a toolbox because he's not mean.
that is
It's true. It's true.
very true. Oh wait, before we do anything further, I got
The
wait a minute.
translation was bad for it. I'm ready. Ready when you are.
Oh, I know you're ready, but dang, we don't have any questions.
I'm always ready.
I guess we don't do that for guests. So, anyways, I was going to say, as I try to find my way and navigate back to where I was. Anyway,
I'm ready for you, big boy. Come on.
all right,
Bounce back.
we can talk about that later. Anyway,
Watching
so
this is a good show.
Wow.
Oh,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Don't hold my hand, but anyways. Anyway,
What?
okay, so subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell. Once you hit the notification bell, it will notify you for our latest videos and our latest shorts. And follow us on our audio platforms and leave us a rating, as that will help us out as well. Join our Discord and Telegram chat. Links of all these are in the link tree down below in the description.
Cool. Call. Sorry. Stopped, like so suddenly. I wasn't ready.
I was looking at you. I was like, how dare you hold my hand?
What? I tried to do that at FWA, and you were like, "Oh, what the hell are you doing?"
We'll talk more about
Like,
that. We'll
Anyways.
talk more about that later.
Oh, I'm gonna get you next year. Anyways, calling to all of our Top Dogs fan. You want some cool stuff? You can by subscribing to our service subscription on Discord. Become a podcast supporter today. Get supporter meetups and get exclusive raw and uncut footage of your favorite podcast episodes. Join supporter meetups and talk with other podcast supporters and the team. Plus, you get a custom-made paw emoji and other goodies that comes with our $2.99 a month subscription. But wait, there's more. Upgrade to the Podcast Supported Plus and get episode voting, supporter feedback, and live audience participation for $5.99. You also get a sneak peek of upcoming ideas, merchandising, and more. You don't have to join these subscriptions, but it does help us out a lot. And simply by sharing and listening to the podcast, you're giving us more support than we actually... just the support we need. So for people listening and people are being our supporters, Supporter Plus, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We love y'all. Thank you.
Now I will say this: if you guys,
did you mention?
I want to.
Did you mention we also have Patreon now?
Okay, no, that is not in our text. So we also have Patreon going on. Everything's going to be in the link tree in the description down below. You can find us on Twitter. We have a link a bit everywhere if you do a little bit of searching. We have a Patreon page where you can bring us support as well. If you don't want to go through the Discord platform, we will send you a link to join the Discord and have access to all those benefits as well. So thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And also another thing, if you do go to the Support Plus or Patreon Plus, you get to see the daddies. If you want to sit on their lap and get boy pets.
Yeah.
Such as
they
Father's
get pets
Day.
too. Yes.
I hate myself for doing that, but I thought it'd be great. I had to, just because it just seemed appropriate.
Hey,
but
sometimes we don't choose our roles. You just gotta go with it.
Amen. Amen.
There you go. Okay, I want to... He threw money at us, but...
Basically saying I didn't pay to come here, of course.
No, it's okay. It's a little accident. It's fine. You can stay here.
Happens.
We'll do an exception.
Okay, so I wanted to let's get serious here since we're going to be talking about teacher stuff. Okay, so how do you handle like classroom management and discipline issues?
Ooh.
That's
I got the camera like right in on me, huh? So it's hard because this is my 10th year teaching, I guess, now. Mm-hmm. So I have definitely have less classroom management problems than a lot. Well, not a lot, than some of my coworkers have, right? So at my school, there's like 200 teachers. There's a lot. There's over 4,000 kids. Mm-hmm. And so So classroom management, I guess, it's taken me time to learn, because every person who becomes a new teacher kind of like wants to be friends with their students, and I fell into the same trap. And, you try to be the friend, and then they don't take you seriously when you need to get stuff done, and like you have to focus on teaching, and it's so weird for like the only profession that has a license. They really throw new teachers in. You're like, okay, figure it out. You're kind of left to the lion's den, so to speak. But yeah, I know, right? But I learned that every kid, I learned this in my student teaching, because in America we have to do a semester of student teaching first with an actual licensed teacher, and then we're allowed to go in after we graduate. I learned from my student teacher that every behavior has a reason. Every negative, positive, neutral behavior has a reason. And sometimes even the kids don't know it themselves. And this is why I love teens and kids way more. Well, not way more, but like, I feel like I'm more forgiving with kids than I am with adults, because I feel like kids just don't know. And it's not their fault.
You're saying that adults should be knowing better by now. With the...
Yeah.
With the exception of statement. Some of them that may not be fortunate, like I said, special needs. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I get that. But go on.
Yeah, there are
special needs will always be an exception.
So I realized that as they got into like my third or fourth year, that kids really do crave stability. So because a lot of kids that I work with generally come from homes that are not your stereotypical American family, I guess, if you want to call it, stereotype wise. But the idea of the American family is changing, right? So I realized that as I continue to work with students more and more, they had their own stories. They had like things that they didn't understand. So I realized that, like, I always tell my kids, when I'm something happens and I'm like, okay, you've got two choices. Either A, we can resolve it now responsibly, or B, we can resolve it outside with somebody else like a dean. Your choice. And so they usually end up just like, okay, because you give them the control, right? And kids usually don't have control. So they make the responsible decision, and they're like, okay, well, then I'll take care of it. And so we take care of it, and it's over. It's done. We move on.
I kind of like wanted to point out something. Is like, a lot of, students complain, like when they get done with high school, that the school system has failed them because they didn't really teach them life things. And What do you have to argue with that, or do you believe that's true?
Let me ask you do you agree or disagree with the sentiment? Think about your high school life or your school life. Do you think it prepared you? Yes or no?
I would say I was a kid, but I will say this: I was not a very responsible when I got out of high school. Most are not. Like, I didn't care at that time when I was 18. So I had to learn that the hard way, which, in my opinion, learning the hard way, you do learn better by failing a lot.
Learn faster, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So it's really kind of, to me at least, I feel like it's more the students' fault for not taking things seriously when they're about to get to that age. You know, because you don't know any better.
Sure.
Because you chose not to.
Stream, what about you?
What is the question exactly? I'm not sure.
Do you feel like your education system, like the education system in Canada, prepared you for the real world?
No. The only actual class that I still use every single day was home economics. They taught you how to use a sewing machine, how to do cooking, which is the thing I use the most. I wish there was a class about budgeting, about financing, getting a job, finding a house. You know, things that you actually, yes, math and physics and good history. So history is important. I think history is important. Geography is important. Because if you plan on traveling, it's good to know where stuff is. But those advanced stuff we're doing in math and physics and other things, they're a bit exaggerated for what we actually need. So my answer would probably be, I don't know, 50%, maybe 25%. They got me ready. I mean, they give us a base to get started, but in no way you're actually done learning, because they're preparing you for maybe 15 to 25%. Actually, that would be my final answer of what you actually need in life.
There was a class that I took was called personal finance class, so that was probably the only legitimate real life class that I had.
Yeah, when I was in middle school, one of my math teachers had a lesson on money management where we learned how to write checks, because that's something that nobody teaches you. They don't teach you how to properly fill out a check. Not that we use checks anymore anyways, but
yeah,
20 years ago. And then in my high school class, we had a full semester on civics, where we were taught how to budget and what type of home we could afford over a full 18-week period. We studied different parts of adulthood. We did one lesson on like the court systems. We did a lesson on budgeting, purchasing homes. So I mean, it depends on the school system too. If those lessons are available in your school system, you should absolutely invest in them, because you're not going to use trigonometry in your day-to-day life.
Unless you're a carpenter, then yes, but most people won't. I think that the formula I use in math the most is the cross, calculation. Like, you have this dimension and that dimension. You want to know the percentage of this, what it means. This cross multiplication you do. That's probably the thing I use the most in math from my classes. I love that.
Well, you still need to know basic math, which
Yes, of course, important. That's obvious, but it's those extra super fancy with algebra. I actually loved algebra. I really had fun doing it because I saw it as a puzzle, and I like puzzles. So this is kind of why I like math a lot. But those advanced those equations, they're completely we don't use them anymore. But I really wish they also gave classes about just human relationship, socializing with people, manners and stuff. Because a lot of people have a lot of there's a lot of people that they struggle with their social skills. I was one of those people. And this is why I've made so many mistakes that I'm learning, and I try to share the experience what I had. And it would be good to teach proper manners to people, how to communicate, a bunch of things, that I feel that would be so much more important than like all those advanced math classes. I would put them along home economics and then budgeting and learning about like credit systems and houses. It fits right along those. Sorry, I'm stumbling on my way.
No, I know.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
I would like to say that, once these kids like get out of high school and they're out in the real world, sometimes I feel like there's a lot of people that take advantage of their ignorance. And we have witnessed that before. So
they use that as an excuse.
Yeah, they use that as an excuse for the behavior. And this is what I'll tell kids that get out of high school, and they're about to be a part of the adult world. If you're going to try to, talk to adults about anything, at least you got to know what you're doing first before you start doing something. Like, take some time to understand what you're doing before you actually do it. Otherwise, other people are going to do it for you and they're going to manipulate you. Because I've seen that already. Yeah. And they probably don't realize that yet. You think they might be helping you, but they're really not. They're putting you into a situation where you're going through fire and you don't know what you're doing, but you're still letting them deal with it. That's not a good friend. Yeah. So yeah, take the time to understand it.
Right. So in the education system, we have a thing that we call as the pendulum. So the pendulum swings from one side of the education system to the other. And what we think about this is we call this as like skills-based versus things that you do that are like practical application, I guess, or like fiction, we would say in English, or, having nuances in history. So like now we're so far over here because of the pandemic, and we've had to like trim a lot of things. We've had to have kids ready for different focuses and the mixed with politics and federal systems and all these other things that happen. It's like a lot of our kids have a deficiency in learning to be social, in understanding the human condition, finding the connection between why am I learning what am I learning in school and how do I bridge that gap to the outside and real world. And there are some teachers that, and I will say myself, I'm very kind of rebellious to the skills-based system, but I have to do it because I'm under contract. But like, I will teach what needs to be taught, but I will also, and this is why I love the furry fandom, right? We have so many friends and colleagues that are rocket scientists that work for Apple or Netflix or Google or who are car mechanics who do trade like all over. So what I do with my English classes, in federal, absolutely, which names should not be disclosed, but I try to tap in all those resources and friends that I have, and I say, hey, I'm doing a unit on blah. What does it take for my students to be successful as, let's say, a social media marketing manager? So what we do is I teach them all the English skills that they need for that, and then I teach them how to calculate their salary. What does it take to work in this field? Like, what research do they need to do to be, social media experts, or to be an artist, or to be, an influencer. Influencer is kind of my favorite, obviously, but, it's some teachers really like to kind of take that by the helm and just kind of run with it. And that's why I love English. Okay. You can do anything with it.
Like you gotta love English comp teachers in college. They are the most. I find them to be the most strict and very. They are the most very opinionated on your work.
I have the reputation of being the hardest English teacher for my grade. Just because it's what you were saying before. I don't want my students to be taken advantage of when they leave. They need to know how to, to read a document, to, if they're going to sign a lease on a car, like you should know what you're reading. You're going to do a rent on a house. You should, renting a house or buying a mortgage and,
shopping
all these
for
skills.
Understand what you're signing.
Yeah, understand. You got to understand the language.
Credit cards, how they work, how they get you.
Mm-hmm.
They got me.
I mean, they didn't get me though, because I wasn't going to fall for that, but because I had a great mom that told me don't do this. So, but anyway, I was going to ask you, in terms of music, do you have any future projects you want to do without naming anything? But you do have future projects you want to do.
So speaking about taking things from my life, I am a huge video game nerd. So several series that kind of speak out to me. If you're familiar with any of the Final Fantasy games, Square Enix or Squaresoft back in the day, we're doing this whole video game arc this next year, this 12 months. So we're doing about 60 songs, so 3 albums, 20 songs each of Final Fantasy 14, the critically acclaimed MMORPG. Not a sponsorship or shout out, but it's a great influence on a lot of people. And we have Pokemon. So we have 3 albums. Yeah, we have 3 albums, 20 songs each of skillfully crafted Pokemon music, ranging from the original Red and Blue all the way to Scarlet and Violet.
What's Pokemon?
Okay, kid.
Oh my gosh. Shut up.
That's what I am. Oh, damn me.
Yeah, Pokesona. I will admit, my original team had an Arcanine, so I'm appreciative.
Oh, really? Cool.
What did you want to say, Kit? Go ahead.
Yeah, Kit.
I was gonna say, in terms of video game music, I think my favorite soundtracks would probably have to be from the Persona series.
Yes, we did that. We just did that too. We have that in our most recent album.
I'm going to have to look that up then, because that sounds awesome.
My husband loved listening to the old Final Fantasy and Secret of Mana soundtracks in the car.
Yeah.
I played the game. Oh my god, that was something.
I know you guys don't probably have played it, but I like the Elden Ring music. Have you ever heard of their music?
I've only played which one? Skyrim, yes.
Skyrim's music. Okay. That's a good one too. Have you ever played Elden Ring though?
No, because I only got into Skyrim because I had an Xbox at the time, and I never really went the Xbox route. I went the Sony PlayStation route, and so I think I have like 3 different versions of Skyrim across my systems because they just kept reproducing them. So
another good game that makes good music was Red Dead Redemption 2, which they had great music. If you should listen to them.
I have a really bad memory of Red Dead Redemption. I actually played it for the first time, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Everybody likes this game. I've never been a cowboy. Let's do it. And I was playing, and then I was raising money because I work for MFF, so I was like raising money for one of our charities, Felines and Canines, and I remember just walking through town, getting off a horse, and I didn't really get the controls right. And I remember I was like, "Oh my God, there's a dog! I want to pet it." And I didn't pet it. I accidentally curb stomped it. I said, I'm never playing this game again. I don't know why they put this in this game. I'm done. But yes, it does have beautiful music and great scenery.
Yeah, they put some weird details in that game concerning the horse when you go cold weather versus hot weather. Have you heard about that?
But hey, you gotta respect the realism from the game.
I mean, they're amazing on that part. I gotta give them to him. It's like unnecessary detail, but you're like, huh, do tell. It's funny.
Well, they're not the only game that did it. It was also another game that did it, but I won't mention that any further because I don't want to be on that subject. But yes, the game was very beautiful. But I just thought the music for its time was very good, because I don't know what Rockstar does to get their music, but it fits their scenery or whatever they're trying to do. But yeah. So I guess one more question, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, right. You have me.
Is there anything else that you would like to share or talk about that we haven't covered yet?
Oh no, I actually it just kind of popped in my head because I know everybody loves music, and I know some of our fans asked, hey, is your music safe to stream? And I said, well, absolutely, because we buy all the licenses, and so you don't have to. So like I know many people who have come up to me and said, hey, thank you for creating this stuff for us to use, and I just want to say, hey, thank you so much for using it. And that's just like, I think you guys know this as being a podcast channel, that like you're putting your work on Spotify, you really want to connect with people, and I feel like music really touches us. And so when I get to like walk in or see a YouTube video or see somebody streaming, and all of a sudden the music for Walking Dog Music is back there and not getting taken down or DMCA'd or anything, I feel pretty good. So thank you, and thank you guys for having me on here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big appreciation. But I will mention this. I'm also working on music too with the music team that we have, but it's kind of like my own personal project. If I ever come by you and I have a question I don't know about, I'll ask you.
I would love to help.
Oh, of course. I just had to tag you on Telegram, and then because we're in the process and like formatting what kind of vibe it's going to be for each song and what the lyrics going to be. We're going to start with intro, chorus 1, those kinds of things.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, but there's also cover songs that I wanted to do, but I'm like, I've seen other bands do cover songs of like, for example, when Queen did Stone Cold Crazy, and then Metallica did their own version. I don't know if there's like a license where they have to do pay to play that song kind of thing, which I think you'll tell me later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. I think that concludes today's episode, unless you guys want to say something real quick. We have like 3 minutes left.
I'm curious if you're willing to answer. I'm curious about your age, because I know you're older than us, but I don't know exactly. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I am closest to you in age.
Okay.
But I'm not over 40. How about that?
Okay, cool.
I saw you guys had Moose on, so I know he's a dad for sure. No, I love Moose.
My husband is 39.
Moose is a great dude.
Oh yeah, he
was definitely great to have on. Well, hopefully we might see him again in the future. Who knows? But you got anything you want to say, Kit?
I think I'm good.
Okay. Do you want to say anything, Vince? Anything at all?
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me. Oh, yeah, sure.
Advertise your socials.
Oh, yeah. Great. Well, you can find me personally at Vince Wuff on social media, any of them, and also on Twitch, which I stream several times a week, usually in the morning because it's summer break, in the evening when school is in session. But you can also find Walking Dog Music on every music platform in the world, and including YouTube at Walking Dog Music.
Okay, cool. Well, we're definitely going to be into that. This actually was pretty good. All right. So I guess that concludes today's episode, guys. See you guys next week, and stay awesome. Bye.